Hi, welcome to my video, The Book Reviews. I'm going to do a series on the entrepreneur journey, giving book reviews on the best books I feel would be for you guys and girls as entrepreneurs and business startups. Let's get straight into this. The first book I'm going to review is a classic book. This book has possibly made more entrepreneurs and business people in possibly history. And there's a lot of books out there what's just regurgitating the information they've got from this book. Let's get straight into it. The book is the classical, famous book of Think and Grow Rich. This is a must read. I know a lot of you entrepreneurs out there have got this book, but if you're a young entrepreneur and a startup entrepreneur, then this is a must read for you. It's wrote by Napoleon Hill, who was at that time in the 1930s a writer. And Andrew Carnegie gave Napoleon Hill an assignment. He asked Napoleon Hill to write down all the data on the big business people at that time. Write down how they become successful, how they become millionaires and billionaires, and write it down and put it into a book form so the general public can read it. His first book was called The 16 Lessons of Success, which I've got on my Kindle. This is a watered down version of it, Think and Grow Rich. But you know what? I prefer this book, The Think and Grow Rich, than his original one. This book is about the mindset, your mindset, what you've got to think first before you even start a business. The book goes into the mindset on each chapter. That's why it's called Think and Grow Rich, because you're using your mind, your mindset to become an entrepreneur and a business person. It all starts first in your mind. You've got to know what you want, and you've got to think about what you want and think where you're going. Let me put me glasses on and just go through a couple of chapters, because there's some great chapters in here which I keep reading. Let's have a look at this. Okay. The first chapter is, it goes into the desire you need to be an entrepreneur. It's a great chapter, goes into depth and tells you stories of people who accumulates the mindset of desire. So desire is really important in the book there. Then it goes into the third chapter, goes into faith. Now, we're not really going on the religious side of faith in this book. It's more connected to your perception, your belief, your faith in your own ability. You've got to believe in yourself. You've got to have faith. Most millionaires and successful people has the perception that what they create is going to be successful. There's no doubt in their mind. They don't doubt it. They just know that if they create something, it will be successful. And this what this is about, this chapter mainly, not the religious side of faith. It's about the belief side, the belief in yourself. And I like the title here. I'll just read this. There are no limitations to the mind except those we knowledge. Phrases like that, throughout the book, there is phrases like that and motivational phrases which really sparks off your mind to think no limitations, that it's only your mind, yourself, what puts a ceiling on limitations. So it's fantastic for that. And it goes in depth in the chapter about fear. And as you're reading it, you will get sayings like that. The other chapter which I found interested in at the time when I was first reading this is auto-suggestion. Auto-suggestion, what a fantastic chapter. Telling you to speak yourself to success in your words. Words are very powerful. Don't underestimate the words you talk to yourself in your mind. Your words, what you say to yourself, can either make you and break you. You either talk positive or negative. So auto-suggestion goes on in a full chapter on auto-suggestions and how to talk to your subconscious mind. It also goes on about the subconscious mind as well. So that is great. Specialized knowledge goes into a subject on specialized knowledge. Now, this is a great chapter. This is one of the best chapters in the book, in my opinion. It goes into your imagination. Nothing occurs, nothing can be created if it's not for your mind and your imagination. Your imagination is your power in your mind to success. If you imagine that you've already done it and succeeded before you've done it, and picture yourself in your imagination that you are successful in your business, then it comes into reality. So that chapter is really, really good. I love the chapter on imagination. I'm just skipping through the book and picking out some of the chapters which I really, really love. All right, this is another great one as well. And remember, the book is titled Think and Grow Rich, so it's all to do with your mindset. Decision making. Wow, what a fantastic chapter on decision making this is. It's all about making decisions. There's a saying what goes, and I love this saying, is good for me decision. Now that sounds selfish, but remember, I feel selfish is good. Being selfish is good. It's not negative. So decision making, good for me decisions. If you're making a decision, think to yourself, am I making that decision for good for me? Or is it a decision what someone else has planted in my head and I'm making that decision for that other person? So decision making is very, very important. The other chapter I love is, and it goes into this, is persistence. Remember, all these chapters is what Napoleon Hill has interviewed all these business people, millionaires and billionaires in the 1930s, and they've all said the same. So most of them people who we interviewed, millionaires, billionaires, has actually touched on this subject and told Napoleon Hill that to be successful and to think and grow rich and to have your mindset, persistence is one of the thoughts you've got to do. is persistent. You've got to continuously be persistent in reviewing your goals and going towards the target, what you want. We can change it as well in goal setting. I'll do a video on goal setting. You don't have to, if you're goal setting and you're persistent and when you're moving forward is not working, we can be flexible and change things. So we're not do or die type of people where we just carry on needlessly even though it's not working. No, I don't mean that. But persistent is a fantastic chapter. The other chapter which he goes into is the mastermind. The mastermind, your mastermind group. Henry Ford, he could not have built the cars and made that industry without his mastermind group. Henry Ford did not know everything about the car engine. He was knowledgeable, but he didn't know how to build it, so he hired people to do that for him. And he created a mastermind group which built an industry on all the cars we see today. Little story I read about Henry Ford is that some newspaper was taking him to court and calling Henry Ford ignorant and calling Henry Ford he didn't really know what he was talking about. Because Henry Ford education was not that good, possibly below average. And in the court, one of them says to Henry Ford is, you don't know much about certain subjects. And he mentioned a certain subject to Henry Ford and says, do you know about this subject? And Henry Ford says, no, I know nothing about that subject and I don't need to know about that subject. But I do know someone who does and they will tell you. Fantastic. He got the mastermind group, the mastermind people who knew it. He didn't have to know everything, so you don't have to know everything. So, fantastic book, goes into all the big industrial entrepreneurs in the 1930s, telling you about what they think and their mindset and how they become through their mindsets, through their thinking about getting rich. And it's a fantastic book, one of the best books around. Has a lot of secrets. Read it through and through. I keep reading it every day. So this is my first book review for today. And I recommend this book, especially to young entrepreneurs who's, if you've not read this book, it's a must read for you. Hope you enjoyed that book review. Be doing another book review in the next few videos. And remember, keep subscribing to my entrepreneur journey. Keep viewing. Give me thumbs up. Give me likes. And I hope to see you guys and girls in my next videos. And remember, take care of each other. Bye-bye.